Ladies, okay, ladies first. Then I come.
Ladies, no.
Okay. Once again, my name is Barbara Shedula, Chairperson Deputy Administration Shedula. My concern is for the when you look at the motto of Uganda, says for God and my country. But at times as teachers, when we go to the universities for classes, we find the challenges whereby we don't respect our days of prayers, like on Saturdays and Sundays. You find that you have Saturday exams to be done on Saturday when a member is supposed to go for church, and it is started on a Sunday when a member is supposed to go for the church service. Therefore, nowadays on the mood being taken out by the government, I request you honor people's religious affairs. Thank you. And another concern is mountain of the universities here in Port Tourism City. May you extend more branches, more centers, so that we can get more clients. There are some people who may be in Tegegwa may not be able to travel to Port Portal, but if given a chance of having a center in Tegegwa, people can join and we find that we are getting a greater number. Thank you so much.
Once again, I'm called Kato Sen, Speaker of Nyangabu. One, I want to be very brief. I rise to confirm that on 27th of September, the Nyangabu District Council passed a resolution of allocating the land to this institution to establish the health science department. And I think today we shall even share that resolution to you. And I wish the chairman, the University Council, and your council really speak that interest, have that interest in that, because we want that department to be at Kasonga Nyanza, Hill Center 3, where we have over 36 acres of land. Then two, at the core values of this institution, we would like to see practical part of it. Because one is agriculture, and the whole of this region, it's only the mountains of the university that teaches agriculture up to that level of masters. And as you are aware, in this region, research shows that 76% of the population are employed in agriculture, but they lack knowledge. So how we wish to see our students from this institution going down to the communities and guide our farmers to benefit much in terms of production and productivity. Lastly, as still part of the core values of this institution, the environment. Because where the university is located, we have the river called the Mapanga, and it is narrowing every day. So how we wish to see proposals under the grant office here, because I know there's another department that's supposed to be rating those proposals, looking for donors, to see how we can restore the Vampanga so that we match with our core values of this institution. Lastly, I also add my advice to the chairman of Interoko. Equal opportunity is very important in this institution. Let us give equal opportunity. Thank you very much.
NRM Chairperson Unyangavu, Senior Peter, I want to reconfirm and re-emphasize the commitment of Unyangavu in giving out land for a nursing school. The interaction we had with you, the Honorable Minister, was reconfirmed further by the District Council, was reconfirmed further by the Sub-County Council. So what now remains is the council to bless it, then move down to the district leadership, finalize on the memorandum of understanding and these other legal and policy issues. Otherwise, the commitment is there, and we pledge that in the time we see the president, who is the chairman of NRM, we shall add on the this to bring the university further to the communities in Nyangao. Secondly, the issue of land above Richard Rauhinga of Chambogo Datik, which the district council have already gave to the university for the farm, the vet department. I don't know who is sabotaging the interests of the region. If there is that commitment from the local government that so many acres of land of Kiambogo were given to the university, how comes that NARO is trying to block it? My proposal is, I know Richard Rohinga as a fighter. Can we remove those roadblocks such that the university takes up the opportunity? And if that is not possible, for us in Winyanga, we are saying, can we now initiate the Rwanda stock farm engagement? Because the Rwanda stock farm is another sleeping giant there. So, because we don't need to scatter our efforts, we need to agree that if the leaders around are pushing for Kiambogo that plan, then all our efforts should drive there. Or if we are saying we drive our efforts to Rwanda stock farm, because I'm a born of Rwanda, when we are young boys, we used to get these very fat bulls, a lot of milk. It was employing so many people, but which is no more. So can we agree, by the guidance of council, do we push for Kiambogo or do we push for Rwanda stock farm to have a study center for the vet? Lastly, on the marketing, an alumni of this school, of this mighty university. I joined on the scholarship of the kingdom, Toro Kingdom. What was not clear by then was whether the kingdom was paying money, but we were told a certain fraction is deducted. I remember I was paying 770,000. The rest of the students were paying a million plus. But we are so many under the kingdom scholarship. I would implore the university, if I'm not sure whether you are continuing in that line, but I would beg that we continue with that partnership with the kingdom, because the kingdom's voice to us, will come, is a very strong commitment from the kingdom. So I implore that we continue with the same. And lastly is the distance versus the students' numbers. Mata is a public university. If you look at the distance from Port Portal here, I remember in our days there was a bus which had subsidized the charges for us. We would pay small monies, but then would access the university. I could request such interventions remain, so that the numbers keep increasing.
Thank you very much. Those were very pertinent, especially initiating the conversation at the political level concerning the farm, both in Kiambogo and Rwanda.
Thank you, Madam Moderator. I'm once again called to Manjura Samuel from Kasensi. I just have a request to the University Council and the management that you help us and keep their postgraduate studies in education. Because most of us are teachers. We need to have planning, planning management. So now, because I'm seeing people in our Kasensi are going to university in Kampala for these small courses, education management planning. So if you can help us and they come here, it will be for us better now. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And maybe finally again.
Thank you so much. Mine is just an observation. When we are seated here, there's something that I observed. That this is a university, respected, but the dressing code, the way how people actually dress. I was wondering whether, because you talked about the agriculture, you talked about the tourism, is it because that these people will go to gardens or they will be climbing those hills? I wonder, a university student, remember that we are producing actually the husbands, the wives, people who are going to work in offices. But how can a university student come here with needing for sure? I've been observing it. The Kenya, what are Ugandans
What Ugandans are we producing tomorrow? It is very important that actually the management should also look into that. And another thing maybe that my chairman also spoke about it is about the regional variance. I remember this when we were visiting our district, he promised us this, but we are not seeing it. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank God I'm putting on a seat. I was worried that I'm the one being fired.
Thank you, my brother. Actually, I also felt she was talking about me. Ronald Kali is my name. Sandy Bank, general manager. And I'm only going to break it into four segments. And I'm happy that the district leaders are here. So this feedback is not only from the university, including the district leadership, the political wing. And I'm happy that we're all losing our district. So to my friend, my good friend, Pius, who is from the other side, and me who is from the other side, the trick is very simple to adopt the impact on them, and we shall be able to benefit. So, as a standing bank, there's a lot that we intend to do, or that we're already doing with the public universities. Not only uh, Mountain of the Moon, but all other public universities, including the districts. So, like I said, I want to break it. And I want to start with the students. I'm glad the leader is here. Last year, we rolled out what we call a graduate training program. I believe there are many students who want to, like me, want to be in the bank. I've been now 14 years, and I started from top here as a junior from the university. So we rolled out this program to our students who are finalists in third years. They come, work with us, and we pay them, and at the end of the program, we employ them. So it's not only stop at Makere, Chamboku, but Mount Elizabeth. We should see some of the students at our branch, for example, Kasese, Budu, at least students from this region. Yeah, I joined here from far, from Chibuku, very far east. And I was able to keep us in Hospital branch. And I've served most of the life, including my friend Amoti, so many years ago. So that's the first thing for the students. When our engineer was giving his speech, he talked about IT led, IT led. So as the bank, what are we doing? Still to students. We know we are living in an economy that is doing bad. So we introduced what we call students loan, but not giving them money, but laptops. Can you show them my laptops? Laptops. Not these laptops you find everywhere, but we are giving them this kind of laptops. Just try to enable. We guys, we know the challenge we went through during the COVID. Those who are students, we are still a student as well, because you have to study. The summer we share, so I keep on studying. And even today I have a bit course. So we introduced the laptop loans to students. This time we rolled out with Makerere University and Chambogo, but we are rolling it out all public universities. And I believe Mountain of the Moon, being our university in the region, should be key. My brother, as the student leader, make sure we follow it up together. Not only to the gentleman who come do the same. We can't do it ourselves. But this one is key to students at least to acquire a laptop. And you pay very little money. We know students don't work. So why should we charge and a high interest rate and all that? These are laptops. We give it to them for 4 years, 3 years, depending how a parent can manage to pay. Then lastly is on the university land. Everyone, I know it's district leadership, everyone are talking about social responsibility. Look what they can see, what are you giving us?
We all know during the COVID time, Standard Bank invested. For us, we call it investment, not just responsibility. So we still giving. Last week, the whole of this region, we gave out hospital beds. I believe there's someone who attended the launch or the giving of those hospital beds, including our hospital here, but across the region. And simply because not only that we have our dear, the chairman comes from the region, Mr. Kato, he comes from the region. So that is one, and we're still giving more. So the district leadership will share with the branch manager in your area. We can still support health, agriculture, the environment. Actually, we are giving more fruit trees in case you want to plant some fruit trees in the Sokoto city. Please, we can come in and support in that. Then also to the women, at Standard Bank, we agreed and signed an MOU. Support the women, to empower the women. First, we reduced the interest rate to 15.5 if you're a woman. And this signed MOU, we don't increase it. The inflation is high, but we don't. It's 15.5 for the women. Then also we do what we call financial fitness training. I have the political leaders complaining about this. We know what happens. That's why invite us. We shall train you. We shall train your teams. We shall train your teachers in financial fitness, but also to the women. We give that training free of charge. Right. Thank you.
Thank you very much, our moderator, council chair, Dr. Mayimbo, Vice Chancellor, all the university officials, all of you, go to speak for your respective capacities. Me, I want to thank first of all the founders of our institution who have transited from the private university. Thank you very much for that effort and that initiative that they had then. We also want to thank the current government for taking over this university. We pray that it will be run well for the good of this community. And I want also to emphasize the point that was made by my sister over there, decency, decency. You know, the wrong mentality, but when people go to university, they can dress decently. You know, it's a very, very wrong mentality among our young people. So let us emphasize decency of both students and staff. So don't give a bad image to the illiterates, the villagers. They think that when you go to university, then you must become decent, and that's a sign that you're educated. That mentality, I think, should be worked on quietly and slowly and gradually, but we change that concept among some of these elite people in society who really embarrass us, and we think they're educated, they're modern, and they kind of give a bad picture to the local people and community to think that that is how people should dress when they get to university. I think that's when the council can try to address it quietly and ensure that we have decency in terms of dress code. And me, as a religious leader, I want to commit myself to advocate for this university. I'm only doing it when I go to the field to preach the gospel. I advocate for education. I can't come and study in this institution. So we pledge to doing that, so to have good numbers in here studying, so our people can really access quality education to this institution that has been taken over by government. So we thank government for this initiative, and we want to appreciate us all that have been part of this meeting, that have come and stakeholders in this region. We pledge to fund the university, support it, for its advancement and to provide quality education to our citizens. And with those remarks, allow me to now move off because I have other engagements. The time allocated for this function is over. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Once again, my name is Mugurizi Dan Amot, the Guild President. I'm happy that one of my best friends is here, the RDC Winyangavu District and the RCC Port Portal. I want to thank the Chair Council and the stakeholders who are here. However, on behalf of the students, you have always left the students, not considering them that they are part and parcel of the development and the transformation of Uganda. When you get money for Youth Livelihood Fund, among other government programs, even if we submitted a proposal, you just rotate on your chair and say, go and make a good proposal there and here. But you are not considering university students. And this goes to the DOs that the new curriculum, I thank His Excellency for the initiative, but it is not being implemented because of practical work. So I submit to you that as you render your service to this university, also think of supporting the practical work, that when you support, for example, a practical hub here, where university students are engaged, then from here we shall be able to establish our own jobs. And lastly, I want to put this forward, that this university is a blessing to this region. However, the DOs and our parents down there who are doing a great work, it would not be good for this university, which is in this region, to be benefited much from those who are coming from different regions in the way of scholarship, because you know scholarship is by merit. So I implore our DOs and all people in the education sector to fight hard to see that we produce senior 6 leavers who will compete on merit to benefit from this university in terms of government scholarship. Thank you. I submit.
Thank you very much. The Chair, University Council. Chair, I was reading from this University brochure. I found flexible study options. And as a head teacher, I would like to request the university speed up this program of distance education, because we have been having day program, weekend program, which are not very flexible for us, especially head teachers, because we have a lot of work during daytime and on weekends. But if this long distance program studying during the holidays would be very nice for us as school managers, primary and secondary. Some of us who are heading primary schools in the rural areas, like Kiwara, in Kidwa area. When we close schools, it will be very easy for us to come for studies during holidays. I submit.
Thank you, the Master of Ceremonies and the Chairperson of the University Council and the members present. Timothy Weza is my name, Speaker, Kabarole District. To begin with, was a suggestion raised by my colleague, the Speaker, Kamwenge District, of a motion sent to the government. Kabarole District Council already done that. We already moved the motion in council and the resolution was passed to thank the government of Uganda for this university. That was done in Kabarole. Secondly, as Kabarole District, and maybe as a region, we have got a problem of narrow, which has hindered so many developments in this region. To mention about a few, I think it is this university in the area of agriculture. This university has got some portion of land at Narrow, that is Kembogo, whereby the district as well has land, and the government wanted to construct an industrial park at Narrow land, but Narrow Red Court sabotage those developments, whereby the university as well has also suffered such a problem with Narrow. So it is my request from here that as a region, we can stand together. We reject the acts that are being done by Narrow as governments of this region. Narrow has bought its original land in Kinjojo, where they can also establish their activities there. More so, as a district, I have not seen so much from Narrow. Only that sabotage Kabarole district, not get an industrial park, mountains of the the Moon University to do its activities as far as agricultural students is concerned. So it is my request as we are gathered here as leaders from this region, we take this with a serious note. We reject with the strongest terms the activities are being done by NARO. It is a serious point that has substandard activities of this university and benefiting as a region in terms of having an industrial park being built in this region. Otherwise, as a district, we thank the government for giving us this public university and the organizers of this function for recognizing us as well to be in this meeting today. Okay, thank you.
Once again, I'm Katungus Kakonge. I'd like to first of all, pledge total publicity for this university. And would like to request members here to take this as an important thing and you publicize it everywhere you go. Number two, I'd like to support my brother head teacher in Chenjojo who was talking about the recess program. You must think about it. A recess program for teachers. They cannot be here for full time. They are far in the villages. They must come here for recess. You consider recess program. Number three, I'd like to request the leadership of this university to think about excellence, and it is said in the vision. Really think about excellence. People are joining universities because they are excellent. People go to Mukono, people go to Makiriri, people go to Chambuku. They go there, and we know if you want a good doctor, you go to this university. If you want a good lawyer, you go to this university. We want you to be excellent in certain spheres, if not all. While I talk about that one, I'd like to request the leadership of Fort Portal City. They are the immediate beneficiaries. They think about making this university accessible. The road is not good. They think about it. They think about this road. If it is not accessible, then people will fear coming here. If you arrive in Kabarole at night, can you be able to ride here? Well, we know it is the road passes near the prison, passes near the barracks, but is this place secure? Is it safe? So the leadership here should think of making the place very accessible. And last but not least, I'd like to think about receiving transcripts. Receiving transcripts has been a problem to many universities. You complete, you spend 2 years. You spend very many months without receiving a transcript. Then we go down and think about the university and say, it is not helpful. We want it to be helpful to very many people. Once it pass through here, must receive a transcript in time so that can go and look for the job. Initiators of this university, I thank you for your vision and pray that we will continue to support you. I thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. On that very note, I would like us to appreciate our academic registrar because she has made sure that every graduation our students go home with their transcripts. Every graduation, very good. And of course, like our chairman in Toroko said, he constructed the 4-kilometer road, meaning that the politicians also have a very strong voice in, lobbying for the construction of our road to come into Saka. I have someone here first.
Thank you, MC. I'm Patrick Luwagawa. I'm here for Chairperson Kaganda District. I have 2 points to make. One is a humble proposal to the University Council and who is concerned to include this mining sector because we're in a region where we are soon operationalizing, re-operationalizing green mines. We have oil and gas in the region just near us. So look at mining and petroleum, inclusive tours, historical fisheries, so that we can have a vast of programs we can come and compete for. And I'm happy to meet my former bursar, Mr. University. I'm a student there, former student. I did mining. Lastly, I want to add a voice on my speaker, Speaker Kamwenge. Please, let's look at the substantiating the convocation. That is the Alumni Association, because they do much in publicizing and in showing the community that we have actually produced. I submit.
Protocol observed. I may speak contrary to what other leaders may have proposed. One is that the day we accepted that this one is a public university is the day we subjected it to the whole world community. And two, we should learn that this is not a private company, that we may end up having shares. That's why I said I will be contrary. Let people contribute favorably, but these jobs that may not need technicalities, that's where possibly we can consider regions. We may end up reaching a point where we shall even ask, why is a British man here when he has his competences? Two, I still ask the University Council not to overstretch. Let's first build the capacity at the center here. And after building the capacity, then we can stretch. Because I've seen universities failing after overstretching, then they end up failing. They begin study centers in various districts. Then at the end of the day, they fail to maintain those study centers. You see them collapsing. So can we build the capacity at the center here? So that when we look at that capacity, if it is enabling us to stretch, then we can stretch. Thank you. I'm Masereka Joshua, the resident district commissioner of Nyango.
Thank you. Thank you, Master of Ceremony. I rise to give information and also give in my submission. One, you see, in the biblical world, when it comes to human service, we should always all get interested. It is very disappointing for a leader to stand up and pinpoint at one area or leadership. But straight to this road, this is a UNRWA road. It is not our mandate as a city, but we executed our obligation, what we are supposed to do as leaders of Poto City. We wrote letters to the relevant offices, up to the center. The President Uluga is my witness. He knows about it and he has been pushing hard. And I'm sure the University Council is also aware about this project that is very important for our university. So it is not that we are seated and we have failed to just construct a small kilometer road. That is not absolutely true. Straight to my submission, I had a lot, but I want to appreciate the Vice Chancellor that he almost tackled most of the things to do with this digitalizing, democratizing education and all that. But since our university has an element of research, it has an element of agriculture, in the future, since we are now a public university, I wouldn't, we have transported a lot of cocoa for so many years through this region. We have transported a lot of vanilla for so many years through this region. Can now our public university come in and help our farmers to add value to these products? Why would I transport cocoa in its raw form through? Actually, it's crossing around 10 districts. From Bundubujo, you have Mporoko, you have Fort Portal, you have Chenjojo, you have Chiegebwa, Mubende, Mitiana, and wherever it's going. I think this is the time we should think about carrying out deep research into helping our farmers to add value to our products. And in so doing, you will help us as leaders to bridge the unemployment gap that we all know, because it is very big. I don't want to see university releasing students who are qualified and then there are no jobs for them. Can you also now play a role in creating those jobs? Because if we add value, these students will get jobs in these factories that will be set up. Lastly, from all our submissions, I see an element of diversity, inclusion, and equity. These three must be treated in high regard because all concerns have been rotating around those three. If that is done, we shall have a society and a region that is conducive for our young generation and all of us. I thank you.
Thank you very much.
Once again, I'm Musingi Emmanuel, the Deputy RCC. I also take this opportunity to make a submission now as a member of this side. My prayer and the request is that the university leadership prepares the students' thinking in line with the government programs. And this leads me to the concern of the good president that he directed to his friends, me inclusive. So his concern was about considering the students to benefit from the government programs. True, the students may not be benefiting, but all government programs, I don't think they have exclusion clauses that put out the students when they are ushered to the communities. And I believe all students originate from societies, from parishes, from districts. So if you're a student and a youth, and there's a youth program, please take time, understand, and look at ways how you can also benefit. After the students are the best people who can be examples to the rest of the community members of the youth there. Because we have had challenges with mindset change. Our youth are so negative that for every government program, they doubt whether it will be a success. So I call upon the student leaders and the entire student body to be examples of mindset change so that the rest can copy from them in embracing government program. Thank you very much.
Yes, actually, may I want just to appreciate our MC for giving time for the discussions because it's not easy. We can applaud him if we can because I've done a lot. Thank you, MC, for sure.
Thank you. Thank you, but I hope you don't cause me to be fired because this was done by my boss. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I'm called George Bambali, Program Officer joined for Water Family Protos. I'll talk as someone who works from the NGO. I think I'll task the Public Relations Officer for the university also to reach out to us, the implementing partners, the NGOs, CSOs, because at times we have funding and then we have programs, maybe 3 years, 5 years, something like that. But then there are issues which we handle in community development, and if you have memorandum of understanding with the university, at times you can have or you can take up students to do some research or do volunteer placements, and then in the end, of course, at times they can be retained. Like what I did, I was once a volunteer and eventually I was taken up for full employment. So if the university can partner with some of the NGOs, I think it can be good. Then the other point I was talking about is is the research that led the research topics for students aim to solve community problems and then later be publicized. Because I remember when I was still here, I don't think my research was publicized, but I was talking with the Register Academic that now there's that components that is now more digital, that some of the research papers can be published in journals, maybe in articles, and then there are some research hubs, maybe with the kingdom, with the city, and something like that. So, which is very good. But more to that, I had a comment on the research period. For example, when I was still here, we used to do it in the last year of the course. But from my observation, I would suggest that let it be maybe throughout all the years of the course, maybe like even the first year, then the second year, third year, or fourth year, so that the student gets more skills of research or more knowledge on that. Then I was also in agreement of the university days, developing also the community, not the schools alone, but also even the communities, the parents of these students, so that they are part and parcel of the university. Then I know it's still the beginning, there's few months being taken up as a public university, but also I was appealing that maybe you start also some courses for technical courses, maybe like engineering and the rest. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I've just realized that the gentleman appreciating me was actually a word of mouth kind of brown envelope to other people would call corruption to cause me to end the discussion. But I've seen only two people reminding me to speak, and then we shall be moving on.
Thank you, Mr. Observing. My name is Abdallah Sudi Haji, the general manager of the Hotel. I have some few points to share with you on this. One of the points that I would like to speak about is about the quality training for our children that are going to, they normally go for training on hospitality lesson. We have so many colleges that are maturing up. So many colleges that maybe they have a lot of competition for Mountain of the Moon University. So many colleges that they don't offer quality training for some of our children that are doing hospitality industry. At the hotel, we normally have these people that come for attachment. Many of them from different colleges around here, and some of them from Jinja, some of them from Kampala. But you realize that these students, they have finished maybe 2 years in training in various colleges. But at the end of the day, they are very, very green. It's like they have just started. So my point is, the administration, the local administration, and maybe Minister of Education or technical training and this kind of stuff, they need to evaluate some of these colleges. I think they take a lot of money from our parents, taking a lot of money from people, and some of this money does not come easily. People, parents says land, parents says animal to take these people for training. But at the end of the day, they finish 2 years of training, 3 years of training from various colleges that they have not been evaluated, not confirmed their syllabus and this kind of stuff. And then at the end of the day, the people come out of that particular training, they know nothing. So I think it is an obligation for the people that are concerned with the training, education, and people and local administration to make sure that the colleges are evaluated and then satisfy that if they can offer quality training for our students. Second item is the children that are finishing senior 6 scholarship for such a students that are performing very well in their last examination. For us, we have Form 4, that's the last. Before we had Form 6, like the senior 6 you have here. But the thing is, we have people that are coming from very, very poor family, and these people and their children, they perform very well in some of these institutions. So my urge is, I think it is high time that the teachers in senior six or the schools, the local administration, and probably the university, they come together and form a partnership to give scholarship or sponsorship to some of these top students. Because they finish school and they are left hanging around, and then maybe they are left and they cannot get sponsorship, they cannot continue their education. And this can help some of these people to acquire higher education. In Kenya, we have Equity Bank that are doing, I'm sorry to mention that bank because we also have some banks here. Every year, they sponsor. Every year, they sponsor students that are performing well from families that cannot manage to take them for higher education. So I think the university, the banks, the local government, I think they need to sit together and see if this particular people can be assisted. And thirdly, not finally, okay, let me say finally. And finally, most of the time when we are at the hotel, we ask the student that you send there for attachment, which course are you doing? They will always tell us that they're doing hospitality and tourism management. Most of the time. But you know, management is an administration course. And in the hotel, we have different departments. We have front office operation, we have housekeeping and laundry. And for tour, we have tour guide and we have travel operations. I'm a graduate of Kenya Utali College, and I believe you know Utali College. It's a very well-known hospitality college in Africa. Because before, many students from Uganda, from Malawi, from everywhere, they come and do their training in Kenya. And I can assure you that the hotel management and tourism, they are separate courses. And therefore, people, after 2-3 years, they have done that particular course, it becomes a big problem for them to differentiate whether or to specialize whether they want to take tourism or they want to take hotel industry. So I think it is a hard time now, if possible. I'm not faulting your program. I'm not faulting the course outline. But my recommendation or my suggestion would be the hotel management has to take a number of years for you to graduate. And then other courses have to be separated. The front office, the housekeeping and laundry, the food production, the service, and the tour guide and tour operation. Those should be, I think, separate courses for them to understand exactly what they want to be at the end of their course. If we mix all of them together, you give burden to the student. At the end of the day, they will come out as half-baked because each course, it is a very detailed course. It cannot be possible that hotel hospitality and tourism industry becomes one course for 3 years. I think the board of directors, the people that are in charge of curriculum, we need to look into that. We are there at the Nyeka Hotel. If you need our input, please, we are available and will come to support and ensure that the curriculum is as perfect, as good as the one that has been curriculum. I'm not saying it's not good, but I think we are mixing the hotel industry and tourism, and it's causing people a lot of problems. Thank you very much.
Let us appreciate him. Ladies and gentlemen, the chair of the council and the vice chancellor and the team here do appreciate you very much for all your input. The ideas, the contributions in terms of questions and the rest are very well appreciated. However, as an MC, I think it wouldn't be good for me to take you to eat very cold food. I'd like to propose this forum is going to continue. The stakeholders forum will continue. So we can continue sharing those ideas. But we also have a desk there in case we don't get enough time for everyone to speak again, you can write clearly on a piece of paper your idea, your question, and we shall send it to that desk and they'll process it. Because everything you've been talking about here, they have been captured. And of course, you can be sure that at the right time, response will be given in terms of either action taken or whatever kind of response will be given. But before we go for lunch, we'd like to take a group photo. Okay. I was still trying to apply for how we're going to flow from this moment that we hold to this one. Now, of course, on the program, we have our, you have been discussing, but I believe you also want to hear some immediate response from the people you've been speaking to, right? Okay. So let us do that, and then we shall have a lot of thanks and a couple of minutes.
Thank you very much. Let's appreciate the MC. I want to request you that you stand a bit and stretch and then sit down, because I think it has been well over 3 hours and it's not good now, and you are going to travel long distances back. Thank you very much, honorable delegates. Please take your seats. I really want to appreciate all of you this afternoon. Personally, I'm satisfied with the meeting because this is what we wanted to hear. It is not good for us to sit here and make policies that will not work for the region. For us as council, much as the law gives us some powers, we are working for the people. So we are partners. And we can only have results when the people are happy with what is going on at the university. There are a lot of exciting ideas, although one was left out. Because I wanted to hear that, say, Bondebuch is giving us 100 million, Kanyagabo is giving us 10 million. That didn't come out. But I think all is well. And for me, I have some points that I take very seriously, is that the 9 districts in this region are committed to having this university succeed. I think that is very important as a take home for us. And many have gone even further to make resolutions to that effect, which is very good. Because you are the leaders, you set the tone at the top. So that is very good. My other take home is that there is a lot to be done in the region. A lot that needs to be done. And many ideas have come up, which are going to be further looked at by the council and the management of the university to see what can be done in the short term, what can be done in the medium term, and what can be done in the long term. Being government, that's the only way to go, because we cannot promise that we shall do everything that has been proposed. But definitely we shall be able to meet as council and management, see what we can do. The other issue that has come up is what I was trying to say, but it did not come out. And here I want to point in this direction. The issue of inclusiveness, that one, that issue of inclusiveness is a point well taken. That's why we have a public university in the Rwenzori region. I'm not a politician, although there is one behind me, but I know politics drives things here in this country. And therefore that issue has got to be balanced with MMU being an academic institution. And therefore, the need for us to keep engaging to balance the both. Inclusiveness and academic excellence. I think somebody talked about excellence. We have to balance that. We cannot take one and leave the other. The two must go together. And that's why in my remarks, I wanted to engage more with the education part of local government. The head of the Teachers Association, the district education officers. What can we do for our students right from primary in the Rwenzori region to make sure that they compete equally with other students from other regions so they can have access here. That's what we are aiming at. Somebody brought up I can't remember, but I think it was the same sort of program for the teachers. Those are the things we want more discussion upon. So that when you come and sit at least 6 and you want to join a university, then you compete. Then I did mention pre-university. What are the elements that are lacking? How can the university help bridge those gaps? Can we bring people who have not met the criteria, give them a remedial course to ensure that they now get into the university? That is the discussion that we would like to have. The graduates would like us to have a discussion. I'm happy with standing back. I think I want to thank them.